Hey guys, so Windows 11 has launched this week and we thought we would tell you 11 things about Windows 11. I know, how original, 11 things about Windows 11. Who comes up with this stuff? So the first thing that you'll want to know is that the taskbar is now in the middle. Look at that, there's the start button right there in the middle of the screen. And some people have already started to complain, why isn't it over at the left? I know. I actually think it looks great here in the middle. It's really good if you've got a touch device or a touch laptop or any of these Surface devices. This is actually really great. The buttons are slightly oversized as well, so they're really easy to click on with your finger. But if you really do insist and you're an old-fashioned person, you really must have it on the left, you can do that. In fact, check out our other video here where we will show you how to put it back on the left-hand side. Now, there is actually a whole new user experience, and you can see here the whole look and feel is completely different to Windows 10. It is a much slicker experience, I think. You can customize an awful lot of what you see here. So you can see right now I'm running the light mode, but there are now dark modes as well, which become really popular across the apps that we're seeing now. So dark mode is right here and it's built in. You can choose from any one of these lovely themes and it's a really quick shift just to change over. But you're also going to see some nice other little touches as well. I've had people say this looks very Mac. I don't disagree. It is really nice and fresh, but these nice rounded corners that we're getting here, these kind of oversized right-click menu options, again, it's all kind of being geared around touch and a nice new modern experience. I think it looks great, and I've been using this for about a month now, and I'm really starting to get on with it. Really good stuff. Part of the new changes that we're seeing as well is making life easier for when you're snapping windows together. So if I've got a couple of programs open, let me just pop open, let's say a browser here. If I click on these buttons in the top corner, we're all used to this, we can kind of shrink it a little bit or we can grow it back up, but actually now if we hover over, we can see there's an option to snap it to the left or to the right. Now some power users might have been used to that, they can just hit the Windows key and hit left or right to do that same behavior, but now it's already here just with this little hover over on the top, and we can even break it down into quarters. And as we do that, you can see that we get an option to pair it up with one of the other applications that we've got running. Yeah, really nice and easy. But again, just showing that nice way of us snapping things together. One of the great things about the new snap options as well is that when you're using this on an external monitor, finally with Windows 11, when you're using this on an external monitor, the windows all remember where they were. So if you take the time to lay them all out really nicely on that external screen, and then you unplug the screen, go and do something else on your laptop and come back from your meeting, when you plug it back in, Windows finally remembers where all those windows were before and puts them back for you. Oh, this is so nice. The search bar has actually been replaced by a search button. Here it is. It's right next to the Windows button, as you'd expect. So you've got your Windows button, you've got your search button. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that at the top of the Windows button, there's a search option, as well as at the top of the search button, there's a search option. I really don't know why this button's here, if I'm honest. Here are two possible options. They both look exactly the same to me, with search at the top. And I have to say, I don't use either of these when it comes to searching in Windows. I'll tell you more about that in just a second. The Microsoft Store will now let you install Android applications. So if we go into the Microsoft Store, you can search for some of your favorite Android apps, and I'm told by all the kids these days that the best app to get is TikTok. Here it is, TikTok. And this is great. So now we can run Android applications inside Windows. This could be dangerous actually. So if we're running TikTok, I might use a few hours of my, what is going on? Okay, I think I'm too old for TikTok, but it's okay. What's that? I'm not too old for TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok. There are also widgets as well. So widgets live down here in this little widgets button. If I click here, now you'll be familiar with this if you've had any kind of iPhone or iPad, or even on Mac OS, we get these nice little widgets pop up with the weather, any suggested things that you've got here going on in your calendar, sports. These are all widgets that you can tailor. So things that you're interested in, you can add here. So we got our news, everything that's happening, more things about Meghan and Harry, of course. There's probably something in here about the Strictly final. Oh, there is, okay. But anyway, here's where you can catch up on all the news and events, things that are relevant, but also you can get some of your work things surfaced to you here in widgets. So again, it's a really nice little tool. I have to be honest, I haven't used it a huge amount, but it is some great information that's being surfaced here, so your mileage may vary, could be something that you use a lot. I think the biggest thing to say about Windows 11 is that it really isn't that big of a change. If we're honest, it feels like a bit of a facelift to Windows 10. Now I know for the more technical users and the IT techs, there's a lot going on in the background, but for day-to-day users, I think you'll find it just as easy to use as Windows 10, if not a little bit simpler. A lot of the options have been simplified to keep things streamlined for you. If you are a power user, you're probably going to find some of those things a little bit frustrating. So for example, the right-click menus have been heavily simplified for touch. But what that often means is when I'm looking for something, let's say in here, just in Explorer, I'm going to right-click, and most of my options have been limited. What I have to do is click on this Show More Options, and then I get the traditional menu here. So if I've got a file, maybe I want to share it or zip it up or do something with it. Again, there's a nice selection of options here, but I've got to go to Show More Options to get that original menu. I think it works most of the time. Maybe it's because I do some more advanced things. I find myself more often than not having to go into Show More Options. Some of the other things that can possibly get a bit frustrating if you're a power user, the taskbar down here has been heavily simplified. So again, if we click, you can see we get this nice little pop-up. Now, I'm the kind of person that uses my earphones for when I'm doing Teams calls and things like that, but also if I'm just watching some general content in the office, I might want to use the built-in speakers on the laptop. And that means I can flip-flop in between audio devices quite frequently. In Windows 10, that was actually really simple. I would just click on the speaker and then I would choose the option that I wanted for the output. Can't do that in Windows 11. I've got to kind of click on this multi-task bar here. Then I've got to go across here, and now I can choose the audio output. So it's things like this that have just started to add little extra steps into something that was previously really quick to do. I think one of the other things to mention as a real power user that you might get frustrated with is I'm very used to coming down here, hitting right click, and then going for Task Manager for when things aren't behaving properly. And as you can see, as I just right click the taskbar, I only get one option, which is the taskbar settings. The good news is that the old Control-Shift-Escape shortcut still works, so if I need to get Task Manager up and running, I can do that just by using the old three-finger salute. For Windows 11, I have to say that the Windows button, whether it's the one here on the screen or the one on the keyboard, is your friend. This is your friend for finding absolutely anything, whether it's a recent document that you've written that you need to have a look at, for scripts, here we go, if it's an application that you're looking for, or if it's something that you want to browse on the web, how to remove the recycle bin, because I can see it sitting right up there on the screen from the desktop. Windows and anything, you just start typing. Just hit the Windows key and start searching for whatever it is that you're looking for. And you'll see that you get recommendations here from the web, if it's a web article. If it's any of the recent documents that you've been typing, they'll be popping up here as well. Windows is the key. Just keep hitting Windows and type search. You remember earlier I talked to you about hitting this button and then typing in search up here, or hitting the search button and searching up here. I don't do any of those things. I just hit the Windows key and start typing. Whether it's an application I'm popping up or something I want to search on the internet, Windows is your friend. So one thing to know about Windows 11 is that it is clearly designed to be run online. So this nice snappiness that we get when we hit the Windows key and start searching for things, whether it's locally on our device or on the internet, just works really quickly when we're online. What we have noticed in our testing, and I'll be fair, we are still running the pre-release version of Windows 11 here, but what we did notice is that when we're not connected to the internet, that search can actually be really hampered. And you can see that Windows is trying to search online before it searches on the local machine. So even if I'm, just sat on my laptop, not connected to the internet, and I'm just searching for a local document or a local application, there's a delay. And it sits and it thinks and it waits, and then eventually, obviously, the timeout happens, and then it starts to search on the local machine. Now, I think it may just be a pre-release version, hoping that it gets better, but there can be a delay when you're not online with Windows 11. And I guess the last thing to say is that if you're not ready for Windows 11 or your business is not ready for Windows 11, you do not have to upgrade yet. So Windows 10 is still going to be in market, fully supported right the way through until October 2025. So there's plenty of time to get people used to it and get, along the transition path with Windows 11. What I will say is, we've been running it for about a month now in our organization, and actually we have been delighted with it. And that's bearing in mind that we're running the early release version. It hasn't been crashing all over the place. It has crashed once in that entire time. And then it was just a quick restart to get back up and running. So, we're looking forward to the full release version and, seeing it roll out for our customers. Well, that's it for today, guys. We will see you next time.